Today we are back in the advanced server because I got curious enough to check out this new mage Novaria. She's a new mage that is about to come out in the original server this month of May. So why don't you join me in checking out this new mage in this video, which I'm gonna call Novaria Explained for Dummies by a Dummy. Novaria is a hero in Mobile Legends who is really good at using magic to defeat the bad guys. She has special skills that can summon black balls called Astral Spheres, which can deal a lot of damage to enemies. Novaria can also move really fast and even go through walls. But even though Novaria is very powerful, she can be a bit tricky to use. So if you want to play a hero like Novaria, you need to be smart, you need to be aiming those skill shots, you need to use your skills wisely. Novaria's passive is called Star Trail. When Novaria uses her skill 1 or skill 2 to summon these big black balls, any enemies that are near these glowing balls will start to move slower, kind of like walking through a thick mud. And when you use your skills to hit the enemies with these black balls, it explodes and it makes a big boom. The explosion does a lot of damage to the enemy, especially if they have a lot of health. It's like throwing a really big rock at the enemy's face. And if you manage to hit an enemy with this black ball, Novaria and her teammates can see where that enemy is, even if they're hiding inside a bush. This makes it easier for Novaria and her teammates to plan their attacks and catch the enemy by surprise. So basically that's it. Novaria's passive makes her glowing balls slow down enemies, deal a lot of damage, and reveal their location. Now let's talk about her skill 1, which is called the Asstral Mage. Novaria summons a big black shiny ball like we talked about earlier, which is called an Astral Sphere, and she can put it in a place where she wants it to go. When the sphere is in the area, it starts to glow and hurt any bad guys near it. It's just like Gord's skill 2, only flashier. After 2 seconds, the sphere will make a bigger explosion that hurts all the bad guys even more if they decide to stay in the area. So it's like another round of damage for unlucky enemies. And this bigger explosion also makes the bad guys slower so they can't run away as easily. So in short, Novaria skill 1 is this area of effect continuous damage and also slow, and if the enemies stay there, when the skill ends, they'll take more damage and get more slowed. Now what about skill 2? Novaria's skill 2 is called Astral Recall. All these skills starting with As. Novaria can summon that big black ball again, but this time she summons it from far away. Like, it appears out of nowhere magically from thin air, and this sphere will start moving towards her. Any enemies hit along the way with this do not take magic damage, but their location will be revealed, and since the ball is very close to them, they will also get their movement speed reduced. When Novaria uses this power and the sphere starts moving towards her, Novaria can move really fast and go through walls. It's like she's a hotter version of Faramis. And if Novaria moves through a wall while this skill is active, she gets even more movement speed. It's like a mini sprint after going through a wall. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? So when this big black ball finally reaches Novaria, she can then choose where to throw it next. Like playing catch with a friend, but they have to catch it with their face and take a lot of magic damage. This explosion also hurts them more if they have a lot of HP. Also, the further away that you are before you shoot the enemy with this black ball, the more damage it will do. Just like Flame Shot. And the maximum damage you can do is more than double, like 2.5 times normal. It also has a very small, very tiny area of effect explosion. So if the enemies like hugging each other or are really close to each other, you might be lucky and damage more than one enemy at the same time with just one ball. So in summary, Novaria's skill 2 is, you summon this black ball, you throw it at the enemies. If it's from really far away, they get hurt more. And while this skill is active, or before you throw the ball, you can go through walls and you can move really fast. And finally, Novaria's ult, which is called Asstral Echo, another astral skill. So yes, this is her ultimate. Novaria will create a huge, linear, thick blanket of magic in front of her. When she uses this skill and it hits enemies that are in front of her, the enemies will be moving slower for a short while, and they also get an astral ring around them. This ring will make them easier to hit. It will increase their hitbox, so that you can hit your skill 2 even easier, even on their sides. It's like putting a big glowing target on them so Novaria can hit them better. The astral ring also lets Novaria see what's around the bad guys, like a secret spy camera that shows her everything that they're doing, even in bushes. This effect lasts for 2.5 seconds, so Novaria has to act fast to take advantage of it. So in short, this ultimate deals 0 damage, but it slows down enemies, it has a huge area of effect, and it makes it easier for you to hit your enemies with your skills while they have that astral ring. And you also get to see the sussy things that they might be doing in bushes. And now for some quick tips and tricks from my very few games that I played with her in the advanced server. Make sure that whenever you use your skill that the black ball or the astral sphere hit the enemies or are very close to them so that you can take advantage of the slowing effect. Novaria's skill 1 is your wave clear, but it's also a really strong skill if you manage to keep the enemies in the same spot for 2 seconds so that the astral sphere can explode. It is really good in team fights, especially when you have teammates who can slow or stun enemies, so just go ham and spam it on whoever your team is focusing. Novaria's skill 2 is not only a really good sniping tool, but it's also her only defensive skill. You can use it to slow down the enemies and at the same time get a huge boost in movement speed. It also lets you pass through walls and gain even more movement speed, so it'll be really easy to escape enemies, especially if you have a wall behind you and you can use this skill. The Asstral Echo, or Novaria's ultimate skill, is a great way to reveal enemies and make them easier to hit with your skill 2. You can actually precast your skill 2, get it prepared, and if you don't think you'll be hitting the enemy easily, you can use your ultimate to make their hitbox larger. And since this ultimate also has a slow effect, you can use it to like disengage or engage on the enemy by the means of slowing their entire team down. And that's about it for tips and tricks. I don't know much about her yet, but you probably have some, so feel free to comment it down below. And to wrap this video up, I guess we could quickly list the good and the bad things about Novaria. The good things would be that she is an extremely long-range poker. All of her skills has some sort of slow effect to them, thanks to her passive. She has movement speed boost and she can go through walls. And she is excellent in checking bushes safely with all of her skills. The bad things about Novaria are, well, she got 0 stun, so that's a problem if the enemies are dashy or has a lot of blink skills. She's also too reliant on good aim with skill 2 to deal damage, especially when her ultimate has 0 damage. There's not a lot of mages that has 0 damage on their ultimate, so I wonder if she can be bursty. And lastly, she is really weak once you get close to her. All you need is a blink skill and the patience to wait for her skill 2 to be on cooldown, and she should be dead meat. But all in all, I like this mage. You can't probably pick her every time, but if her teammates fill the gap of her not having any stuns, then she should really shine, especially against detecting bush campers. I rate this hero Black Ball out of 10.
Nice.
So I hope this video helps you out in deciding if you want to buy Novaria for her skills or her looks, which is probably the case. My name is Shinmen Takezo. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hit like and subscribe if you learned something, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. You know what? I think I figured it out why they named all her skills Astral. Astral Meteor, Astral Recall, Astral Echo. It's because she's a Astral Mage.